Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a short and sweet episode on what launching is and what it isn't. We're going to get clear on some of the misconceptions that a launch may bring up and also talk about debunking some of those myths and talk about what exactly a launch is as you are going into planning your next launch, as you're thinking about launching your offer. You really want to be clear on what it is that really defines a launch season, a launch period versus what it is not, and why we might think that it is some of these other things instead. All right, let's just jump straight into it. So what I really want to teach you is how you can create a 10K, 20K, 30K plus launch without a grueling 50-step launch process, without a rigid one-size-fits-all strategy that doesn't even align with your energy, or, trying to follow that program that you bought a year or two ago that just burns you out, right? And I want to tell you exactly how to make that happen. I've literally been told over and over and over, you're the launch lady, you're the launch queen. How do you have such flowy launches? Are you even in launch? Oh my gosh, you seem so calm, so grounded. You make launching seem so fun and so easy. I want to learn launching from you. Can you please create a launching course? I've literally heard this over and over and over for years. Stay tuned on one of those points. I'm going to be sharing something at the end of this episode. And I have created over $1 million of sales revenue in my business since 2020. And a majority of that, 95% or higher of that, has come from launches. It has come from launching over and over and over, launching the same programs over and over, and also launching in general over and over throughout my business, and finding a really unique, custom aligned way to my energy, my vision, the way that I work, my offers, to launch my programs and to connect with my community and my clients. When I was in Hawaii with Alaska this summer, we were there for a week for our annual Mommy and Me trip. I literally had 4-figure days rolling in, and I wasn't working at all. The only time we opened up my laptop was to use it for Netflix, or I just brought it anyway because I like having it with me. But it wasn't for work, right? I wasn't working on the trip, and I still had 4-figure days. In the next month, in September, if I don't even launch or sell anything, I have 5 figures, over 5 figures coming in through monthly recurring revenue. And in my launches, I've had 5-figure pre-sales before the cart is even open. During the pre-sale period, which is early bird or waitlist, I have people jumping in that make it a 5-figure, sometimes multi-5-figure pre-sales, because people are so warmed up, so ready, so excited to jump in. Every single time I've launched Magic Mind, I have had someone jump and say, please secure my spot. I've had at least 10, 20, 30K before the launch actually starts, because there are people saying, I need to be in that room. I want to be in there. I'm in the next round. I want to put my money down. I'm going to save this spot, take my money. Literally before I even launch it, that has happened. So with all that said, I am on a freaking mission to help you, service-led, spirit-led, truly in service of your work, heart-centered coaches, to create 10K, 20K, 30K launches without burning yourself out, without having to follow a rigid launch schedule, and to really magnetize your soul-aligned clients through launches. All right. So here's what most people think launching is. This is what launching is not. All right. So what launching is not is posting 2 times extra than you're currently posting. Launching is not planning vacations after your launches because you feel like you're going to be so burnt out afterwards, right? Launching is not following someone else's formula that worked really well for them, but doesn't actually align to your energy, your vision, your offer. Okay. Launching also isn't just throwing up a couple slides on your stories with a link and calling it a day. It's also not just creating one carousel slide through post and sharing that to your stories and calling it a launch of a program. Right? It's also not, feeling like you need to create tons and tons and tons of urgency for people to buy and coming up with all these reasons and like a fake 3 days left or 2 spots left and creating like a manipulative, sleazy sales tactic in order for people to buy your course or join your program. All right. So let's talk about what launching actually is and what a launch from beginning to end should really look like and what you should think about. Okay. So that should be properly warming up your audience through magnetism, through your understanding of magnetism and what I call the art of seduction. I love referring to that warm up phase of your audience, building up the teasing, building up the hyping as seduction, right? As we all know, I love my sexual references and jokes and metaphors, but I feel like it works so well here because essentially warming up is just like foreplay during sex, right? You really want to get someone excited. You want to tease them. You want them to be on the edge of their seats, right? Or we can even relate this to like movie launches and premieres, right? When a movie marketing is done so well, people are lined up out the door to watch it on day one. Do they have to watch it on day one? They could watch it on the second day or a week later or 2 weeks later, but there are people who are quite literally on the edge of their seat waiting to watch this movie, so much so that they would wake up early and bring a lawn chair and have a line going out the theater because they're like, I need to see this movie now. I can't wait anymore. That's the type of excitement and hype and this level of magnetism that you want to have during your launches, right? You want to build a level of excitement where your audience is going, get me in that program, in that course, in that offer right now. And that also, which leads into my number 2, comes from having really solid, what I call offer foundations. This means you understand your offer so deeply. You are so aligned to it. You cannot imagine selling anything else because you love this offer so much. You're so deeply aligned to it. You can't stop talking about it. And it genuinely lights you up and turns you on. And you also understand why someone wants this and also the transformation that the offer creates for them and also who you're speaking to, right? You don't want to just be clear on the transformation, but then be speaking to someone who's not your best client. You want to speak to someone who's ready and resourced. So that way you're not hearing objections like, yeah, I'm really interested, but I don't have the money. Or, yeah, this sounds really good, but not at this time, right? You really want to make sure you hit the people who are interested and they're ready to invest, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean like, they have a really good paying job or you only speak to people who have lots and lots of money. We don't need to know their money situation. Trust me, when someone wants to buy something and be a part of something, they'll do whatever it takes to do it. I remember my first mastermind, I didn't have that money in cash. I actually ended up borrowing the money and paying it back because I wanted to be a part of that high ticket 20K mastermind so badly. I felt it in my bones and I found a way to make it happen and get myself in the room, and I did, right? And so trust me on this. When you speak to your best clients who are hot and ready and resourced and you've warmed them up and you are aligned to the offer, you are a physical manifestation of the transformation, your people are going to be like, wow, who is she? What is she on? I want to be a part of that. I have to be a part of that, right? So that's a really important aspect, is understanding your offer foundations. Now, number 3 is what I just mentioned, being the embodiments of your offer, right? If you are talking about being a happy, healthy, single mom that's living this life with your kid or kids, but the only thing people see on your stories is you working really hard in your business, or you're always on your laptop, right? But you're selling this transformation of having this really free, beautiful, liberated lifestyle. So they want to see you outside, right? Playing with your kids, taking an afternoon off, right? Going on vacation where maybe you don't bring your laptop a couple times, or, you're able to go and really live and be that breathing embodiment of someone who's integrated this transformation so deeply. So for example, when I went to Hawaii, the only reason I brought my laptop was because I didn't know there was going to be a TV in the room, or if it was going to have the cable shows that, we like to watch sometimes when we're just chilling at the hotel, and I use it for Netflix, right? And I also like to watch Schitt's Creek when I'm going to bed. Probably not the best habit. I don't do it all the time, but I do love having a TV around when I'm just resting and relaxing. I knew some of the time we spent was going to be in the hotel, right? But I didn't work on it. I didn't take any calls the entire time I was there. I even told my team and also my clients on Slack that I wasn't going to be responding on Slack for those couple days because I was going to be enjoying my vacation with my daughter. And while I was out there, I filmed content. When we're hiking, I pulled out my phone and grabbed like a quick 5-second video of us while we're hiking to the waterfall, or when we're out at the farmer's market in Hawaii. Like, there were so many beautiful moments that I was able to have and capture and really embody. And not only that, I had 4-figure days coming in, right? I didn't necessarily, I think I did a reel or two about that, but those were all things that are true embodiments of what has been a manifested life for me. So if I'm teaching launching and monthly recurring revenue and stacking that recurring revenue and being able to live a life of your dreams where you get to vacation with your kids, or you get to take care of your parents, or you get to take care of your grandparents, or you don't have to worry about bills coming in. This is a really important embodiment that we get to highlight and talk about in our content when we're selling, when we're launching, right? So when I'm creating a course and offer that has to do with launching and creating that, 10K launch, that 20K launch in a very easy, flowy way, I want to be able to highlight that I've been able to create this for myself, right? That's what helps my audience trust me, is because they see this on a daily basis. I was able to move into this house earlier this year. My daughter is able to go to a better school district. She just started school last week. She just started 5th grade. Right? She's able to do all these things because of my business and what I've created. And I'm speaking specifically to launches because that's what created the majority of my revenue, right? So you want to be the embodiment. Like if you're a health coach, you want to show, hey, this is what I'm eating today. This is how I'm taking care of my body today. I'm going on this walk today. This is how much water I've drank today. I don't know, right? Have fun with it. Like have fun with it. You obviously don't have to post anything you don't want to, but clearly you as the coach, you are a leader. Leaders go first. Right? That means you are showing an exemplary and embodied way of living your life and showing up day to day. This doesn't mean that you're perfect. This doesn't mean that you have perfect days and you do everything in alignment. Like that's not the goal, right? We're human. We're not always going to be 100% perfect embodiments of what it is that we are teaching. But at the same time, you overall, generally speaking, your life is something that others want to really look up to and say, wow, I'd love to create that for myself, right? And they don't want to necessarily become you. They want to become that version for themselves in their own business, in their own life, whatever it is that you teach, right? Health, business, life coaching, whatever it might be, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about, so this would be number 4, is really having an understanding of your product suite and your brand movement. So you're not just launching for the sake of launching, right? You're not just launching to make money. You're not just launching a brand new offer randomly, haphazardly, kind of chaotically. You have a system, right? You have your signature offers, and you also have maybe some smaller offers that lead into the signature offers. You might have an all access pass that runs for a year. year, or right now, maybe you're just selling your one-on-one coaching and looking to fill up your one-on-one coaching program. Perfect, right? So you want to make sure you know when you're launching, why are you launching? How many spots available do you have? If it's a smaller offer that leads into, say, your one-on-one program or your signature course, you want to make sure that it is in alignment with that bigger thing that they're going to be saying yes to at the end, that you're leading them into, right? You want to have a what's the right word? You want to have a flowing ecosystem and understanding of not just your vision and your movement, but also why you're launching, what offers you're launching. So it's not just one offer there. Oh, this idea came to me. Let me do that. Oh, that idea came to me. It's beautiful to be an abundance of ideas, but you also want to make sure that your launches, not to say that you have to plan them all ahead of time, because I honestly don't do that, but you want to know what your main offers are and how your product suite is expanding so you can best support your clients, right? Eventually, you're going to have a low, mid, high, ticket offers to serve your best clients. And that's something I'm going to talk more about. But again, understanding your product suite, understanding your business ecosystem. What are you building? What are your immediate goals, right? Make sure you know exactly what it is that you're working on right now. That will actually help you to create a launch plan and launch processes and figure out when to launch and how to launch to really support your overall vision of your brand and where it is headed. I'm excited to talk more about this as we get into the end of the year, planning for next year, and, really having a solid brand vision. This is actually something I'm going to be talking a lot more about in the new offer that I will be that I'm announcing very, very soon. I think it's already announced if you're listening to this. If you're listening to this live, it is already announced, and the waitlist is actually open for my brand new course. This is my brand new offer. So everything that we talked about around knowing how to capture your hottest leads, warming up your audience to get them hot and ready, speaking to the right people and having your offer foundations, understanding your product suite. These are all things that we're going to cover inside my brand new course, Operation Rogue Launch. And this is a choose your own adventure launch program. It is going to allow you to create a launch that is aligned to you, your energy, your offer, your launching archetype. Gone are the days where you are just doing a one size fits all strategy that someone else taught you to follow because they said that was the only way to launch. Now you are creating literally like a Chipotle or a salad bar, a poke bar for your launches. You get to pick the foundational elements. You get to pick and choose what feels in alignment for you and your offer and create a launch process that feels so in alignment with what you are meant to teach in the way you are meant to teach it. I'm so excited to deliver this live. There's going to be 6 modules. There's going to be live Q&A calls. We're going to be covering the offer, your offer foundations, launch energetics, making it your own adventure, especially if you're a spirit-led, heart-centered coach who wants to create 10K, 20K through your launches. You definitely want to be a part of this and join the waitlist in the show notes. We're going to cover the offer foundations. What is your offer? What is your clear transformation? How do you talk about it? That's so important because that leads into your content. And then we're also going to be covering the pre-work for the waitlist or early bird, all the way into teasing, hyping, waitlist, the belief work, and then all the way into the launch event, cart open, and what you post during cart open, and then the final push, cart close. There's going to be an entire module 5 on content, how to create magnetic, moving content at each stage of the launch, and also speaking to different buyers and learners in your audience. So you're not just speaking to one type of person, you're speaking to your entire audience. We're also going to talk about your product suite, continuity offers, different types of launches. Like you're going to launch a high ticket offer different than you launch a low ticket offer, right? We're going to talk about bonuses, loving urgency, smaller offers that lead into your bigger signature programs. We're going to cover everything you need to know, and it's also going to be easily digestible. It's going to be simple. It's going to be straight to the point. Think simple, flowy, effortless launches aligned to your energy, aligned to your offer, aligned to your vision. I cannot wait to share more details and really invite you in. Join the waitlist right now. You're going to get a significant chunk off of the overall price. So if you jump into the waitlist right now, I'm going to tell you right now, that bonus is so juicy. You are saving a good chunk of money if you know you want to be a part of my launching course. I can't wait to see you inside. More details to come soon. Link to the waitlist is in the show notes, and you can always DM me if you have any questions at all. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you soon.